What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer, and I like to talk about movies. Not only do I like to talk about movies, but I also like to collect physical media copies of movies. There's just something about owning that optical disc that comes home with you in a case. You take that case, you put it on a shelf, and it's yours whenever you want it. You don't have to pay streaming services. You don't have to go to Amazon Prime and beg them to let you watch a movie for $10. No. Once you own that movie, it's yours whenever you want it, forever. And no content moderator can come on its platform and edit the content that you're about to watch because you already own that media. And there's something special about that. And every once in a while on my channel, I like to do a Blu-ray collection update. And so that is what we're doing here today. We're going to talk about all of the physical media that I've collected over the last couple of months. I think 3 months since I've done one of these. So we're going to talk about all those today. I'm excited about it. Let's do my newest Blu-ray collection update. All right, guys, we're going to jump into my Blu-ray collection update. But before we do that, Pure Leaf Tea. They don't sponsor me, but they should. All right, let's jump into my Blu-ray collection, guys. The first one up, we have Robin Hood, starring Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott. It is a good, epic movie. I feel like this is in line with other epic movies. If you enjoy movies like The Gladiator, you're going to enjoy Robin Hood. This is the second time they worked together, and I really enjoy this movie. So Robin Hood, Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott. If you haven't sat down to watch this, it's a good time. If you like the Robin Hood story, they do a good job with it here. Next up, we have Violent Night. Violent Night is a Christmas movie, and actually one of the few movies I saw twice in theaters last year. Went and saw it with my wife, laughed the whole time. Even though it's violent and gritty, it's still hilarious. So I told my little brother, like, you got to go watch this with me. So we went in the theater, we watched it for a second time, and it is an absolute Christmas classic at this point. It's a movie I'm going to watch every Christmas at my house going forward. Maybe not on Christmas Day, but like when the season rolls around. And I think I'm going to do that with this copy. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to savor the flavor. And come November or December, I'm going to pop this into the Blu-ray player and really get into that Christmas spirit watching Santa Claus kill bad guys. So Violent Night, if you haven't checked it out, I recommend it. Next up, we have The Hurt Locker. This is actually a movie I haven't watched yet, but every single time I tell people I haven't seen The Hurt Locker, they're like, what do you mean you haven't seen The Hurt Locker? So I bought it on Blu-ray, and I do plan on watching it soon. The Hurt Locker, I just hope it's as good as everyone says it is. Let's move on. Next up, we have The Transporter. This is the first movie in the series, and Jason Statham's in this movie. It's a fun action movie, turn your brain off sort of action movie. You just watch him drive around and, you know, stop the people that he's helping. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I get out of that movie. Next up, we have A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. This is the third in the Harold and Kumar series, and I've actually not seen this yet. But just like Violent Night, I'm kind of waiting on this till Christmas time rolls around, and then I will give this its final viewing or its first viewing. I don't know why I said final viewing. I'm going to leave that in there. The point is, Harold and Kumar Christmas, I've loved the first two, so I'm hoping this one's good. I'll check it out this Christmas time. Next up, we have 21, a movie you should own because streaming services like to get rid of Kevin Spacey, and Kevin Spacey is the forefront of this movie and does a fantastic job. Absolutely love 21. It's like a card counting movie. Definitely worth your time. I recommend it. There it is. Also, it has MGMT Time to Pretend in like the opening sequence of this movie, and that's where I heard that song for the first time, and now I'm addicted to that song. I absolutely love that song. So, yeah, 21. Next up, guys, we have Cocaine Bear. Not the best movie that's come out in 2023 so far, but it's got some cool scenes in it. And of course, this is based on the true story where a bear did cocaine in the woods, but then the bear died. So in Hollywood, the bear does cocaine and then thrives instead of dies and kills a lot of people. And there's an ambulance scene in this movie that's just absolutely fantastic. So I wanted to own it on Blu-ray because when I'm in the mood to watch a bear do cocaine and then kill people, well, this is the movie I'm going to go to. But mostly because there's no other movie like that. Okay, next up we have Eagle Eye. And Eagle Eye is a movie that I saw when it first came out with my friend Ryan and his friend, which I can't remember his name, but Ryan Gant was the guy's name. And I don't know the other guy's name. But anyway, he had a pickup truck. It was like his first car. We were all teenagers. He had a pickup truck. And he's like, guys, I'll drive us to the theater to go see this. And he had like one of those one-bench pickup trucks. And I just remember listening to the song Metro Station, Shake It by Metro Station. That's the song. And so I just remember we listened to that song on the way there. And it was like we pulled up to the theater and we're like, hey, guys, maybe we shouldn't have blasted this through the parking lot. Just throwing that out there. But we saw Eagle Eye that night, and it's a fun movie with Shia LaBeouf, and I totally forgot Billy Bob Thornton was in this movie. It's been a long time since I watched it, but it's an enjoyable movie. So yeah, Eagle Eye. Next up, we have Transporter 2. Transporter 2, of course, stars Jason Statham again, and this time he's got multiple guns, and then there's this girl. This movie came out at a time in the 2000s where all movies had this weird hue of yellow on them, and this movie definitely does the entire time. I don't know why. It's just something they did in the early 2000s. I think they were trying to like go from film to digital, and so they just had this digital look where everything was yellowed, and that's this movie. Next up, guys, we have the Transporter 3. Transporter 3, of course, stars Jason Statham yet again, and this is probably the best of the Transporter movies. I think it's got the most interesting plot, and it has the most kick-ass scenes. They could just do more. Through time, they were able to do more, and so, yeah, Transporter 3. It's a good time. Next up, guys, we have District 9. District 9 is a movie I saw at the Kennedy Theater in Hammond a long time ago. I missed that theater. I wish it was still open. I love that theater, and District 9 was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I watched it once, never saw it again, never owned it again until this moment. And now I own it, and I want to watch this movie again. It's just, you have to have time to commit to it. But it's a Peter Jackson classic. It's really good. Next up, we have The Book of Eli. Another movie I saw one time, saw it in theaters when it first came out, and I enjoyed it. I don't think this was like my favorite movie that year. It was cool. Denzel does some badass stuff in it, but the end of the movie gets a little convoluted. The Book of Eli. But you know, I was going to watch this a second time once, and my sister, who's 5 years younger than me, so at the time was probably a teenager of some sort, and I was like, hey, let's watch this movie. And so we sat down to watch this movie, and right at the beginning of the movie, he's just cutting off people's head, and there's tons of blood, and she was like, I don't want to watch this, and so she turned it off, and man, that's the last time I attempted to watch The Book of Eli. So sometime in the future, I'll rewatch this. Jenny, you're welcome to watch it with me if you can stand the headless people this time around. Next up, we have Saving Mr. Banks. Saving Mr. Banks, of course, is the story of Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney and creating the Mary Poppins movie. And there's something just so heartwarming about this movie. Colin Farrell does a great job. I absolutely love this movie. And Ryan from The Office is in it. So, yeah. And Emma Thompson. So there you go. Saving Mr. Banks. It's a nice, heartwarming movie. Next up, we have The Shallows starring Blake Lively, and this is a movie I have not seen yet. I just remember the previews, and I saw it at the store, and I was like, oh, cool. I haven't seen this, so I picked it up, and I plan on watching it at some point. But I like shark movies. My wife absolutely hates water movies. They freak her out, so this will be a good movie night for the two of us. So be terrified the whole time. Next up, guys, we have the original RoboCop. This is a movie that I've always enjoyed. But let's be honest, it's dated now. The graphics in this movie, the CGI in this movie, it's all dated at this point. I personally prefer the updated version with Michael Keaton. I know that's blasphemous, but to be fair to me, this is a movie that 2014 is a movie that I watched with my wife. It's the first movie we ever watched together, so it holds a special place in my heart. But yeah, RoboCop. What can I say that people haven't said? But honestly, the graphics are a little dated. It's a good movie still. It's still a good movie. Next up, guys, we have Constantine. Constantine stars Keanu Reeves, and it is a movie that I've never owned on Blu-ray before. I was super happy to find it on Blu-ray, and just recently they announced that they're going to be making a Constantine 2, or I think Keanu said they're moving forward with Constantine 2. So I hope that's the case, because I really enjoyed this the first time around, and I'm looking forward to another Constantine movie. Next up, guys, we have a soulless cash grab of a movie called The Brothers Grimm. The Brothers Grimm is a movie about all the fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm mixed together, and it's enjoyable. I look forward to showing this one to my kids. I think they're the appropriate ages to enjoy this, so yeah, I'll show this to them at some point in the near future. Next up, guys, we have Full Metal Jacket. This is a Kubrick classic. You know what the thing is about this movie? I did not watch the full movie until I was an adult, because when I was a kid, not kid, but like a teenager, we had it on VHS, or I had a VHS copy of it. I don't know, wherever I got it, but it was on VHS, and I think the VHS was 2 different tapes, and so I only watched the first tape where it dies at the end of boot camp, or where people die at the end of boot camp, and I thought that was the end of the movie. I was like, oh, decent movie, all right. And so when I was an adult, I watched the whole thing, and I was like, oh, there was more to it. So yeah, the back of this says the best war movie ever made. I don't know if I agree with that, but Full Metal Jacket is a great movie, so there it is. Next up, guys, we have Hansel and Gretel, the Witch Hunters movie. This was fine. It's kind of in the same line as that Brothers Grimm movie, where they just take a bunch of fairy tales, they throw them all together, and you get Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Jeremy Renner, though, he was kind of at the height of doing everything at the time, and yeah, it's a decent movie. It's enjoyable. Enough so that I saw it at the store, and I was like, I'm going to put that on my shelf. Next up, guys, we have Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. This is actually an update that I had on DVD forever and found a 2-pack. Perfect way to buy this movie. Because, yeah, these are fun movies. Fun, family-friendly movies, Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. I enjoy them. Next up, we have Arachnophobia. Found this at Best Buy for $5. Had to pick it up because this movie terrified me as a child because spiders still terrify me to this day. So, Arachnophobia. And John Goodman's in it. Next up, we have Enemy at the Gate. Now, I don't remember loving this movie, but there is a scene in this movie that Teenage Mike absolutely loved with Rachel Weisz and Jude Law. That's all I'm going to say. There's just a scene. There's a scene in this movie that Teenage Mike was like, buy it. So I did. So there it is. Next up, we're going to move on. We have The Crow. The Crow stars Brandon Lee, and it's my brother Isaac's favorite movie, or one of his favorite movies of all time. I remember watching this and enjoying it, but it's really long. Like, you have to have time to commit to the movie. The Crow, it's a good time, though. All right, I felt like it was long. I don't know. If it's over 2 hours, it's really long. That's how I feel in my older age. But I don't know the runtime of the movie. I'm not going to look it up now. It just feels long. I don't know. Next up, guys, we have Donnie Brasco. My wife bought me a coat that's like this color brown, and so I wore it to work one day, and everyone was calling me Donnie Brasco. I was also slicking my hair back at the time. There's videos on YouTube. You can find them. So, yeah, that was a thing. But Donnie Brasco's a fun movie. It's a good time. Good gangster movie. Not the best Pacino's ever done, but it's a good time. Next up, we have The Tourist, starring Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. And this is actually an update from DVD to Blu-ray. So I got rid of the old DVD. I actually really enjoy The Tourist. I saw this in theaters when it came out. I think it's underrated. I think a lot of people just skip this movie, whether they don't like Johnny Depp or they don't like Angelina Jolie. But they do a good job in this movie, and it's got a cool twist toward the end that I really like. And Paul Bettany's in it, the guy who plays Vision for you Marvel fans. The final Blu-ray in my collection, guys, is Safe House. Safe House stars Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. This is another movie that I watched one time in theaters, never saw it again. But I think the thing that stuck out to me in this movie is most of the time Ryan Reynolds is the funny guy. And I don't recall him being like funny guy one-liners the entire time. So it's kind of like a different wheelhouse for him. And I enjoyed that. So Safe House, it's a decent movie. All right, we're going to move on to the 4Ks. Wait, I have one more Blu-ray. Oops, one more Blu-ray, guys. Megan or M3GAN, depending on how you read. But yeah, Megan is, it's fine. It's a good movie. Not the best movie that came out this year, but Best Buy was having a sale, a Father's Day sale actually, where this was $10. So I picked it up. It's enjoyable. It's a cool AI movie. It's a better AI doll movie than the Chucky AI doll movie. I refuse to own that. So Megan, yeah, if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. All right, let's get into my 4Ks that I picked up, guys. I picked up Heat on 4K. Had this on Blu-ray, picked it up on 4K. Really looking forward to seeing what that transfer does. What can I say about Heat? It's a wonderful movie, and that shootout scene is iconic forever. Let's move on. Next up, guys, we have Training Day, another iconic classic movie. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I love that line. I send that line to my friends sometimes. I screen record it and I send it to my friends. I don't know why, but I do. So Training Day is awesome, though. I definitely recommend it to you guys. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing with your life? Next up is a 4K that I'm so excited to finally own on 4K, and that is The Town. Easily Ben Affleck's best work. Either this or Gone Girl. I said easily, and now I'm confused because Gone Girl is great. But The Town is a badass movie. I love that scene where he says, we need to go somewhere, we need to hurt some people, and you can't ask me about it. And Jeremy Renner just says, whose car are we taking? Like, it's just a great moment. The Town is a great movie. I own it on 4K now, and I'm excited to see the visual feast that 4K is on my eyes to this movie. So, we'll see. Next up, guys, we have Inception. Inception, of course, I don't need to tell you guys about Inception. Inception is a fantastic movie. Some people would say it's Christopher Nolan's best movie, but it's either this or The Dark Knight. I absolutely love this movie. It stands on its own. It needs no sequel, and the ending of this movie will blow your mind every single time. I actually saw it in theaters when it first came out, and then back in 2020 when movies were starting to come back, this released in theaters, and I absolutely enjoyed watching this. So Inception, guys, I hope you guys have had a chance to check this out. If you haven't, I definitely recommend it. And I bought it on 4K. So, and actually kept the Blu-ray copy that I had because I just bought it on Blu-ray Steelbook. So now I have it on 4K. So I got 2 copies of it. All right, guys, we have some Steelbooks now that we're talking about Steelbooks. The first one, I'm not very excited that I own it on Steelbook. I just wanted it for my collection, and that is Men in Black International. And there's the Steelbook. There's the artwork. Of course, there's Tessa Thompson right there. the first Men in Black movie without Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. But yeah, I didn't want to buy this on 4K, or I'm sorry, actually I think this is on 4K. It is. I didn't want to buy this on 4K. I didn't want to buy this on Steelbook. I just wanted a copy of this for my collection, and this is the only version I've been able to find. So now that I found it, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of Blu-ray copies. So there it is. Next up, guys, we have Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick. And there you go. It's a Blu-ray copy of it. The same company that did the King Kong version I have and Doom. They did like these comic book covers, and they're kind of cool. So yeah, Pitch Black's fine. It's a good alien movie. Next up, guys, we have the Batman Steelbook. Listen, I have bought the Batman on Blu-ray, 4K, and now the Batman Steelbook. Look at this. Best Buy re-released it. Definitely worth your time, worth your money. If you collect movies and you like collecting Steelbooks, I recommend run out to Best Buy and get it before they are all gone. It's just a badass copy of the Batman. Next up, guys, we have another copy that I already have on 4K. This is a double dip for sure, and that is No Time to Die. I think Casino Royale is the best Bond movie ever made. And I think No Time to Die might be the second best, if not third, right after Skyfall. I really enjoy the Daniel Craig Bond movies. Yeah, Spectre and Quantum of Solace aren't at the same level as the rest of these movies, but No Time to Die is a fantastic movie. And look at this case. That's just beautiful. And inside, you've got the new 007 over here. And I think James Bond is back here, but I'm not going to take the discs out right now. So yeah, 007, No Time to Die. I own this on 4K already, but I had to buy it on 4K Steelbook because that's just a pretty Steelbook. There's something about that. I love the artwork of Steelbooks, and I want you guys to see that. So there you go. The final Steelbook I have right here today is Lord of War. This is a Best Buy exclusive. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up and you like to collect things, I recommend you go try to pick this thing up. Watch this. He takes the sunglasses off and he's standing in a river of blood because he's a gun runner. They just announced that they are making a second Lord of War movie with Nicolas Cage, and not Jared Leto this time. I forget who they said is going to... Oh, Bill Skarsgård, I think, is going to be in it with him. And that's just exciting. But yeah, Jared Leto's in this movie. Nicolas Cage. Lord of War is a great Nicolas Cage movie, and I love this Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. I'll open it up so you guys can see it. There you go. And then inside the artwork is upside down. So if any of you fellow collectors have picked this up, is your artwork upside down as well, or did I get a weird copy of this? I don't know what happened there. So with that said, that's my final Steelbook to show you guys, Lord of War. I have one last thing to show you guys, and that is I picked up the Chucky Complete 7-movie collection on Blu-ray. I owned Child's Play and Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky, but I never owned 2, 3, Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky, and so now I own all of them. And here's the case. And one thing that I really appreciate about this set, I just really appreciate it, is that they separated the discs. You guys know, I've talked about this in the past, I absolutely hate when people stack discs on top of each other, because that's just how you scratch discs up. And so this is all 7 movies right here in one place, in one package. And I've seen 3 of these. I've seen the first 3, and I love all 3 of them. I don't know if I have a favorite of those 3, but I love all 3 of them. But I've never actually seen Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse, or Cult. So at some point, either this year or next, just depends on when I have time, I will be doing a full review series for the Chucky movies now that I own them on Blu-ray. I don't like to commit to something that I have to go find streaming somewhere, so it's nice that I have them all in one place now. And that, guys, will cap off. I'll put Chucky right there. And that'll do it for my Blu-ray collection update, guys. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the video and it helps the channel. If you have any of these movies in your collection or you want any of these movies in your collection, let me know in the comment section down below. And also, since the last Blu-ray update that I put out, have you added anything new to your collection? If you have, let me know what you've added. I'm always interested to know what you guys are putting in your updated movie collection. With all that said, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, because I have a ton of content on here and I invite you to check all of it out in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Well, guys, that's the end of the Blu-ray collection update video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm going to have another drink of Pure Leaf tea. Pure Leaf tea. They don't sponsor me, but they should. Also, it's got the Flash on it, and I'm so excited to see the Flash this weekend. So now you know when I'm making this if you're watching it in the future. It's the weekend that Flash is about to drop. I've heard some spoilers and some rumors. and I just want to see the movie at this point. With all that said, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to check out more of the content on my channel, I've got all my Blu-ray collection updates right there, or all my 2023 movie reviews right there.